What's going on, guys? I hope you guys are having an awesome day, an awesome week. I hope you guys have enjoyed Surging Sparks and this release week. But let's go ahead and get straight into the meat. I think a lot of people are hurting right now. I think a lot of people are feeling the FOMO start to really set in. I actually have opened up some Surging Sparks. Surprisingly, my GameStop has it, my Target has it. Now, when we're talking about booster boxes and people are talking about reprints, I think it's very likely that we will see some kind of reprint. And I don't necessarily think that that might tank the set. I don't necessarily think it's going to change the market values. People are placing a really high value on this set right off the jump. I think that could hold. And it's a little unfortunate for the people that really do want to open up this set and get into it. Apparently, we're all going to have to pay a premium to do that. And for this reason, I want to talk about my plan with Surging Sparks and what I'm going to do. I really like the Latias. I've mentioned this several times already in past videos and in a video recently. And I would love to have that card. I would love to have that card in a PSA 10. It reminds me a lot of the team up Latias GX. I think it's awesome. I would like to have the Latios illustration as well. But I gotta be honest, the SIR is popping. That SIR is beautiful. I would dare to say that the Latias SIR is worlds better than the Pikachu EX. I really think that. I think that the market is being really irrational right now. But a lot of that probably, most likely, has to do with the pull rates, the Pikachu EX being really hard to pull, and maybe the Latias being easier to pull overall. But one thing I've noticed, so all of the case prices, all of the booster box prices are pretty steady. You know, for those of you that bought it, and you got the pre-sale price of, $140, $150. Ooh, okay. Sorry, guys. Bless me. For those of you who got in a lower price point, like $140, $150, that's awesome. I'm super stoked for you guys. There's a lot of people that went heavy into this set, and they're getting rewarded for it. And you know what? That's awesome. That, this hobby occasionally has a set that really rewards us and is investable too. A lot of people coming into this hobby are, really pivoting, I think, away from collecting as much to more, an investment mindset of sealed product and sitting on it. And this is a great set for that. And I think it'll probably continue to do well long term. Do I think that prices are going to go beyond $1,000, $1,200 for a case in the next couple months? No, I don't. I think what we're seeing right now is really a peak price for this set. I think that people don't realize how much of it is out there currently. And I think once people realize how much is out there, we're going to see more of it getting listed. We're going to see some lower sold listings. That FOMO, that hype is going to die down a little bit. It might even be around the time that Prismatic Evolutions comes out. When a new set comes out, the focus changes, right? It'll go from Surging Sparks to Prismatic Evolutions, and people are now going to FOMO for all those awesome Evolution Terra Crown EX artworks, those SIRs, and I really think that that's going to take a lot of focus away from Surging Sparks. Now for me, I just know I really want to get that SIR. So, and the thing is, there's no shortage of SIRs on the market right now. There's a bajillion Latiases on the market right now. So I know I'm not going to have a hard time finding this card. And I would dare to say that if I wait another couple months, maybe another 2 or 3 months, that Latias EX and a PSA 10, there's going to be a lot of them. The floodgates are going to open. We've now passed the 100 millionth PSA cert numbers, so we're getting up there. More and more cards are getting graded. We're going to see a lot of those Latiases hitting the market, and that's great for me because I really only want that card out of the set. This is a set that's very easy for me to focus and decide, hey, this is what I want out of this set more than anything else. The Pikachu EX, I'll let everybody else go crazy trying to search and hunt for that card. It really is just not my cup of tea. And I think that card is going to see a massive retrace. unless it's just so hard to pull, I cannot see why it would be any different than the Greninja EX. Yes, it is a mascot Pokemon, but I don't even like these Terra Crowns, guys. I've stated this plenty of times, but I think that the Greninja EX was a lot nicer. Like, I was behind eventually getting that card, potentially, but, you know, looking at the Pikachu, that's a little bit too much for me, personally. It's a little bit too much for me, personally. So I think a lot of you that really like the set, that like me, like the Latias, that might not get a chance to open it for that bottom dollar pre-sale price, if there's truly no reprints coming, if Pokemon is operating differently now, in a different economic environment, and they're now deciding, hey, we're not going to print stuff to oblivion, it can make people in the hobby unhappy when there's a surplus of product out there. I don't know. But if it really stays this price, I won't be buying any Surging Sparks. It's not like I'm mad. I'm not mad about it. It is what it is. We bought, I spent $20 at Target. I got 5 packs or 4 packs, and you know, I paid $5 a pack. It was what it was. I didn't really pull anything. I pulled like a basic EX, but it was fun. I got to open it. I got to be a part of, you know, opening some of Surging Sparks, and then I thought, you know what? That's good. Let's not get crazy here. I'm not going to clear out the Target hanger packs. I'm not going to go to GameStop and buy stuff like I did in the past. Right now, I am focused on my other goals, and I have something very exciting to announce in the coming days. I'm trying not to show what that cert is, but I'm really excited to announce that card. That'll be in a separate video. I'm just kind of doing my own thing right now, just enjoying what I have. Speaking of enjoying what I have, we had an awesome live stream this past Wednesday, and we are halfway, guys, through opening Battle Styles. I'm probably still going to open up the other half of this for fun, but guys, you would not believe it. I can't believe it. Diana was with me during the stream, and we actually pulled the Tyranitar, the Sleepy Tyranitar, and it looks like the centering is perfect. This bad boy is probably going to get a PSA 10. I'm super stoked that I was able to pull this myself, or Diana was able to pull it myself. But not just that. Ooh, focus in on the Tyranitar. Take in the beauty here. And I don't even like this particular card that much. Focus on the card camera. Take in the beauty here, okay? Sword and Shield alt arts, right? A lot of attention has been taken off these guys. This might even be a really good time to go after some Sword and Shield alt arts while a lot of the hype is on Scarlet and Violet right now. We are always going to have cycles where one set or one era is super popular, is talked about, content's being made about it, it's being influenced, and that takes away focus from all these other sets. But I still can't understand why Battle Styles is at the price that it's at, but it is what it is. I'm super stoked that we opened one of the many boxes that I have. I bought I think I have 7 to 10 cases of Battle Styles right now, and I have some regrets on that, but I know it's going to work out in the end just because it is going to age well. But right now, I'm just stoked that we were able to pull this Tyranitar. This card is absolutely beautiful. To be able to actually have pulled this ourselves, I'm really excited. And I'm going to be getting a PSA submission together soon and sending out a bunch of alt arts and things that I really like. So I'm excited about that. But I'm kind of just doing my own thing, and I would urge you guys to kind of do your own thing too. Like, if Surging Sparks is really expensive, I would ask as a community not to buy into this. If one, we're going to all overpay, and 2, the pull rates are going to be tough regardless, I would urge you guys to really caution impulsive behavior, which is something that, you know, practice what you preach, right? I am someone who typically in this situation would rush into the set and just basically try and buy a couple cases at the price it's at today, so I don't miss out. So I don't miss out on all the fun as the set rockets to the moon. And then, hey, if it drops in price, I'll buy a couple more cases. But honestly, it really sucks to average down your cost and have it barely go down because you already got in so high. So really, you got to get in at a good price, and this is not the price to get in at. So for me, it's a total holding off on Surging Sparks. If I see it in the store, I might buy a couple packs and open it for fun. But for the most part, I'll be buying that Latias SIR, and I will be super stoked to add that card to my collection. That is one of the modern cards that I respect a lot right now. And particularly for Scarlet and Violet, I still think that this card right here is the crown king of this era. I will continue to believe that, mainly because I'm a Charizard fanboy, but also because I do think it's a sick artwork. Not extremely ideal for me, but it is a beautiful card, and I do think that it will end up being the king of this era. Not the evolutions, not any of the Terra Crown EX SIRs. This card right here, I think, is going to be the one. I do think, there have been some people talking about 151 as a good alternative right now. I would agree with that. I don't know if it's more reasonable right now to buy 151. 151 was never really cheap to begin with. But 151 was always forgiving to me personally to open, so 151 would be fun, and that was the set that I'm still proud to say is the only set I have ever, or in Scarlet Violet ever, said that I was going to complete the set by opening every single card. We still haven't pulled the Nidoking or the Hyper Rare Mew, so that goal remains to be seen, but I'm going to continue trying to do it. So if that means pivoting away from super modern, buying into Surging Sparks and buying some 151 to open for a stream and having fun with, that's something I would be interested in. Because the reality is, opening Surging Sparks, a lot of beautiful artworks, a lot of great illustration rares too. And I know I haven't talked about the illustration rares, but I see the illustration rares. Like, they're beautiful. All the cards that have been coming out of Scarlet Violet era, regardless of whether they're Pokemon that I like or artworks that I like, I can appreciate everything that's going on in the hobby right now. For me, I think 151 is still my favorite set overall. And I'm going to stand by that. And, I'm going to buy that SIR probably in a PSA 10. Maybe I'll just buy it raw and send it in, since there's a lot of raw copies, guys. If you go on eBay, there's tons of raw copies of that Latias. But I like that I know what card that I like, and I know what card I'm going to go after, and that's it. Like, it doesn't have to get crazy. I don't think it's gonna be a bad investment necessarily to buy into a lot of Surging Sparks. I would just caution anybody from doing that. You have to have a lot of space. You're gonna have a lot of money up front to make an investment like that. I would honestly say that you're better off right now with the availability of all the Latiases. I would say I'm surprised there's not major manipulation on that card right now, because having a stack of those would be dope, right? Like, I think that would be a better play than the booster boxes and cases right now, because it takes up very little space. You could have a ton of Latiases and card savers ready to be graded, get those back, got all your slabs, and you've got a big chunk of value there in something that represents Surging Sparks without the crazy price tag attached. When the reality is, a lot of these boxes, you're probably not going to get anything good out of them. I mean, I know that's a very generalized statement, so let me refrain a little bit and just say you're guaranteed some pulls out of every booster box, but you are more than likely not going to get that Pikachu EX in a box. Maybe 2 or 3, maybe in a case, maybe open a whole case and you still don't get that Pikachu EX. This all falls into probability and numbers, but still, we've always known that buying singles was better, and this situation is no different. In this situation, I think the singles that you like in this set, buy those, Buy the singles that you want to build out the set. Maybe open a box or 2 at the hyped up price if you have to, if you feel that impulse like I do sometimes. But for me, I'm going to be responsible this time around, and I'm holding off completely on Surging Sparks. I will be watching and waiting to see what happens with the set. That being said, guys, I just had a really killer night at the bar. The more I focus on working and just collecting what I'm enjoying, I feel like the happier I am in this hobby overall. That's something that I would like to pass on to you guys, is really find what makes you happy in this hobby, because it's one thing to make content that fuels, it fuels ad revenue, and it fits the audience's narrative, right? Everybody wants to hear that the newest modern thing is going to work out really well, and it's going to the moon, and it's going to be great. Guys, I love modern alt arts and SIRs. I think they're great. But for me, I know that I won't have a chance to go after the cards that I'm going after, vintage cards. I won't have that chance in the coming years. Those cards are going to get less and less available. Whereas these cards are not going anywhere. They might go in price, and I might end up having to overpay a little bit on some modern cards, but that's what I like, is going after the vintage stuff and then collecting some of the modern stuff or opening sets that I really, really enjoy, like 151. I would just urge you guys, if you really love Surging Sparks, go crazy with it. You know, who am I to say that this isn't a good price right now to buy at? I just think we need to be really, really cautious here, guys. And, you know, not get worked up, not get like angry about the situation, or, oh, people are scalping it, or people just bought this set to flip it. You know, that's their prerogative. It is what it is. But we can watch, we can wait, we can see what happens, and we can kind of band together a little bit as a community and say, look, this is not worth the price point for a lot of us. We don't want to pay this price point. Why is it that, you know, we're having to pay $170, you know, right off the bat when a set comes out? That doesn't make any sense. So I think that's the issue that a lot of us are having, you know, that a lot of us have to work through. You know, the coping and the anger phase. A lot of people have mentioned that they think that this set will go up even further in the next coming months. I can't see how that's sustainable at all, being a set that just came out. But we always reference back to Evolving Skies and saying this can happen. This is possible. And even with reprints, it doesn't matter. People just absorb up that set. But I really think with the alt arts at that time, and having Rayquaza and Umbreon and other evolutions and Dragonite, I mean, there still just hasn't been anything that compared to Evolving Skies. So I really just don't think that's going to happen in this case. It may happen with Prismatic Evolutions, but I don't think it's going to happen with Surging Sparks. Great set overall. If you've invested in it, if you're holding, that's awesome. I want to hear the success stories from you guys. I want to hear that y'all bought 10 cases and you're already up $30 a box on those cases. So you're up 30 times 6. You're up 180 a case right now, which is awesome. But also, guys, we have to keep in mind that that's not life-changing money, and now you have to ship that out, and you have to deal with your buyers and finding buyers. And if you have a great network, that's very easy. If you are streaming or doing whatnot or box breaks, very easy to break stuff down and get all your money back from it. But if you are a pedestrian, you are a basic average collector, and you don't have connections, and you don't really do eBay, and you don't really have a way to get this stuff off, other than maybe putting it on, you know, Facebook Marketplace or going to shows and stuff. I just don't think this is something that you should buy into seeing big money signs, you know, in your eyes. I think this is something you should buy into if you really like the set, and you got to open it now. But my hat's off to everybody that made money on this set. So much of this hobby becomes about gains and making money and stonks, and right now the market's kind of all over the place. Bitcoin has hit all new highs. People think that Bitcoin is connected to Pokemon in some sense, so maybe we're seeing some pumping from the actual markets coming into the Pokemon market. Just speculative investments are kind of on right now. That's what I feel like. I feel like speculative investments are on. And so that switch is turned on right now. Everybody is watching, waiting, and this is the end of an era. So we just know what to expect from Pokemon. We know they hit us with bangers at the end of every era. And Surging Sparks and Prismatic Evolutions are not unique in that sense. They are destined to do well being those later sets. But Twilight Masquerade, Temporal Forces, if we look at those sets and how everyone was behaving when those sets came out, I personally bought into those sets because of how everyone was behaving about those sets. And now that hype has died down a little bit, those sets are going to probably do well in the long run. But I just feel really, I feel really weird about investing super heavily into sealed product. I've said that it's not something that I'm interested in moving forward, but when it's a really good set, and I do think Surging Sparks is one, to reiterate that for the final time, I think it is worth, you know, putting some money in on it. But for the most part, people get burned. They've got to sit on sets for forever. They get killed on the fees when they're reselling this stuff, when they're shipping it out. You know, you get annoyed customers that are like, hey, you resealed my box. There's a lot of variables to this stuff, and unless you're really established and have a great name in this hobby, it's very easy to preach that, like, buy into this, you're gonna make a killing on this. It's easy to preach that when you have the network and all the connections, but when you are the average collector, investor, I do think it makes a lot more sense to buy the singles, something that we've repeated over and over in this hobby, and collect what you like. Real simple. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments if you are buying surging at this price, if you're buying cases at this price, if you've already bought several at this price, and you think that, hey, this set, you know, you break down the box price, okay, it's, you know, 170 bucks, but if you're looking at the case price, the case could be a $3,000 or $4,000 case, you know, in the next couple of years. It really could be a situation like that. I'm not saying that it won't be something like that. I'm just saying people need to be careful. This set just released. Let's all just see what happens here. Anyways, let me know what you guys think and what your plans are, what you're doing, what cards you are going after in this set, what you're holding out for. And I also want to remind people, I do think that Pikachu EX, if that's the one for you, I don't think you should try and open boxes to go after that card. I think you should buy it, but I think you should buy it in a couple months. I think that card is going to get hit hard. I personally just don't like it that much, but I think that card is going to get hit hard. And that's saying something. I'm a big Pikachu advocate, but that one, not for me. Anyways, peace out, guys. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day. We will have this graded card reveal coming up in the next day or so. I'm really, really excited. My vintage grail goals are coming together, and I'm super, super stoked about it. And whoever says that vintage isn't doing its own thing on the move, it is. Believe me, it is. But man, I mean, dude, modern cards look awesome. Modern cards just look so freaking awesome. I mean, yes, they are undeniably cool. So modern, people need to understand, I love modern. I just love very specific cards out of modern. I don't love everything. I'm not master setting anything anymore. I was doing that in the past, and it was just way too much stress, way too much time. Anyways, peace out, guys. Y'all have a good one.